Okay, good morning, or it's morning for me at least. Today I thought we would do a little bit something different, another type of projectile. Also has to do with hunting, um, and this is actually going to be a video kind of on request that I have yet to have yet to do. So, Christopher Jones, this video is for you. We talked about making darts, and I mentioned that I had a cheap and easy way to make blow darts to hunt, that look fairly traditional, that perform like traditional darts. You know, you don't have to go and get thistle. If you don't have access to it, of course, making thistle darts, is by far the best way to do it because it's natural materials. This is synthetic, but this is just kind of an alternative if you don't have access to it, or you don't know, you haven't mastered getting that thistle on there. So I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. So these are blow darts, right? Obviously, these are three sort of down fletched blow darts. These are a product of what I'm about to show you here. They are kind of mimics or imitations of our traditional blow darts, which are fletched with thistle down. So the purple thistle, the seed fluff, is taken and then used to fletch our darts to go hunt with. And let me back this up and show you real quick. I've got my blowgun with me. There we go. So this is my blowgun that it's actually my most recently made one, but this is the mouthpiece here. So that's the mouthpiece. I just got kind of some decorative red paint, and then there's the muzzle end. See that light way down there? Yeah. So this is it. This is my blowgun. Yeah, I can barely stand it up in here. It's about 9 feet tall, or just under. I think it's like 8'7" or something like that. So I can just barely stand it up here in the room. So, but basically, the way that these work, of course, is that you take a dart, insert it down inside the mouthpiece, and this fluff acts as a seal and blocks the air, causes it to block up that tube, and so when you blow the air out, what happens is the dart comes out the end, right? That tip on that dart is all chewed up. I've got some better ones over there. We're actually going to take and make a dart, show you how that's done, and then I'll take it out and shoot it at my target here. I just wanted to kind of show you, if you've never seen a blowgun in use before, or are not familiar with those, they are used in North America. Tribes like Cherokee, Shawnee, Creeks, other southeastern tribes, even some of the Iroquois nations are reported to have used blowguns. And some tribes use poison, some tribes do not. Now I will say that this is not my only way of making darts. The thistle type darts are not my only way of making darts. One of my favorite ways to actually make darts is using more of a Southeast Asian technique, but with North American materials. So using the plug type darts. So these plugs are, they just fit the bore there. They're extremely light and soft. They're made from the inner pith of a corn stalk, and these perform exceptionally well. I almost exclusively hunt with those style of darts. So the way to make these fluffy darts like this with this faux fur, you can get this at any craft store. So you can actually color it too. So I actually thought about at one point taking and coloring some of this to look more like thistle, and if I did that, I would have a hard time distinguishing one of these darts from a thistle dart, if it was, say, in a display or something. But the way that I do it, you can cut a whole strip, a long strip, and make a nice long dart, and I think that's what I'm going to do here, so that way we don't have to worry about, doing any measuring or anything like that. But the way that I do it, you don't want to use scissors for this part because you'll cut through the faux fur and it gets messy. I like to take an X-Acto or another sharp knife and simply cut a thin, like maybe 4 or 5 of the thread count there. Start a cut. And then I just like to take that and just continue it all the way down. I'm doing this, I'm not cutting the fur or cutting very, very little. You don't want to cut it against the surface either. So obviously this is a table. I'm not going to cut against the table, but just kind of pick it up and hold it. I like to hold tension. Makes it cut a little easier. So, but this is what I do. All the way down. This X-Acto is actually very dull. That's better. So here's what I'm doing. Just cutting a thin strip all the way down. I want to get my hands in front of this. Trying to keep it even. It's not going to matter too much. It's just going to lay better if it's even, And you're also going to have to put a little tension on this. So if you cut it too thin, it's going to be weak. Okay, so it did kind of break off there. And here's what we've got. So that's what we have. You can see it's just a strip. I guess you could also do this with real fur if you wanted to. But, I don't think there's any... It would be heavy. Real fur and the leather is heavy. It's like rabbit fur, for example, and the skin is very soft. So what I'm going to do here is take this X-Acto and I'm going to split the end of the dart. This is a bamboo skewer. You can make your own. My favorite darts are actually split hardwood. Now I'm going to take some, this is silk thread. This is just what I have on hand. I do, especially with 18th century stuff, I sew with silk quite a bit. So now what I'm going to do is just make a knot. So here's your knot. Take this, and the end, you split your dart. Take and just pass it through that split. Open this up a little bit more. Take and pass it through that split. Pull it, wrap it a couple of times, and go back through. Whoops, don't break it. Okay, so here's that. So you have your thread attached to your dart. Take and wet it. This is going to give it a little bit of grab, and then hold the thread in your mouth. This is where it gets very similar to making a thistle dart. Hold the thread in your mouth. Give it some tension. Now, with the part, there's a kind of a grain, a direction to the faux fur. You can see how it's laying this way. You want that. Start wrapping it. in a spiral going all the way down. Not, try not to overlap. It'll get bulky. And you'll be able to see it too. The forward edge of your dart, of your wrap, the forward edge of your wrap should always be touching. If it's not touching, it means that there's something underneath it and it's not actually laying where you want it. And then I just usually wrap it off with the thread. This is almost half the dart in length, which is why I usually trim them a little bit, and then I just wrap it over my thumb and pull it through. You don't need to really knot it up. You can just do this and it works fine. Now this looks like a Q-tip from hell. You can spin it out here and you can kind of fluff it and get all the fibers, if there's any fibers caught underneath that thread. You can get those out and you can see them. You can see any spots that aren't quite laying right, but you can see there's a nice clean sort of outline in there of the dart. So now what I usually do to start to trim this, well, yeah, I'll do it here. Sorry for moving you around. That's why I chose a smooth surface and clean this up easy. Now what I do, now you're going to want to take your scissors, take and smooth all this out to the back. Take your scissors and trim off there flush at the back. So, like that. I know a guy who actually just uses it like this. His darts are really slow, so I don't do that. Now you should have sort of a diamond shape in your cut. So at this point, when it's all fluffed out like this, now just take and trim it. And keep spinning it throughout this process because that helps to just keep everything aligned. And this is a little bulky for me. I don't like the long fluff. I like it a little shorter. And I like it closer to the back. I usually put a little bit of a taper in here. So I'll actually make the back end of the dart a little thicker than the front. See some spots. You'll see little things sticking up, and you just kind of work at it and get it the way you want it. But I've made darts like this for a couple years now, and they work pretty good. So there it is right there. So that is finished dart, and see it's compared to these other ones here, kind of long and bulky. But let's take it outside. Let's shoot it. Okay. So here we got, you can see, get a better look at my blowgun here. Whoa! I forgot we took boards out of the deck. Alright. I forgot we took boards out of the deck because they were rotting. I almost put my foot straight through that hole. So, here are the darts. You can see here. This is the one we just made. And here are some of the other fluffy ones. And then here are my plugs. and I'll shoot each of them just to show you, you know, kind of what's going on here. But I'll shoot this one first. Again, just like I was showing you earlier, the dart just goes in the mouthpiece and it fits nicely down inside there. Normally I would take a little bit more time. I would kind of trim a little bit and I would fit it, and I would kind of tailor the dart to the blowgun, and then I would just match all the rest of my darts to that, just like arrows, right? So people constantly ask questions about arrow spine and things like that traditionally, but really it's just a matter of you take your time and really put a lot of effort into one arrow, and then you just match all your arrows to the rest. So here we go. That one worked pretty good. Okay, now the plugs. You see here, these ones feel a little bit looser. They've actually shrunk. But they do work phenomenally. I will say, while they're faster, I would say their performance is a little higher, they're more finicky. And the tighter they fit, the better, I think. I think I just split a dart there. Not stepping in that. So, yeah, here's what we got. So that was the 3 fluffy ones. Those are the plug darts. So I've been hunting with blowguns for a couple of years now. Oops. I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years now. I've been hunting with blowguns, and they're super effective. Super effective tools for going after squirrels, birds, you know, things like that. I don't hunt rabbits. So many people aren't supposed to hunt rabbits, but you know, I guess you could go and hunt rabbits with them as well. They're great for getting up high. You know, so holding a blowgun like this, you know, you can still do that. You can still shoot fine, but it's a lot less strenuous to hold it, balance it up and shoot, and you also don't have to fight gravity quite as much. So yeah, so like on tribal lands, hunting there without the regulations that other hunters in the United States have to abide by, you can hunt a little bit more traditionally, and we as Native people have treaties that protect our right to hunt and fish traditionally, using traditional methods, and so you know, using more unconventional methods, and so you know, this is a really great way to get meat quickly, and not put a huge hole in a hide, something as small as a squirrel or raccoon, you know, or something that you want to use, or birds, for example. Not sling a whole arrow through a bird, you know, like a dove, and potentially destroy half of what you're intending to eat. So this is a really great way of doing that. I love making blowguns too. This is a solid wooden one, and I think, you know, I do have some river cane ones as well, but I really like a wooden blowgun. I like the weight. So, but Christopher, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you make a couple of darts, and send me some pictures of what you come up with. So, hinikuchi, nyawe.